Hey there, so this is Mr. McGill, and I am going to go over division with a one-digit divisor with you today. So let's start off our video today with looking at different ways to write division. So here's an equation and a way to write division. With the division symbol here, you can write the dividend 24, the number being divided first, divided by 8, which is the divisor, and then 3 is the quotient. Okay, so 24 gets divided by 8, and it equals 3. So if we put this a different way, we can write it, but it still means the same thing. We could write it like this: 24 eighths. So 20, that looks like a 14. 24, there we go. Oh my gosh, that's just not cutting the mustard for me. Let me try this again. So 24 eighths, there we go. This also equals 3. Okay, so this is another way to write division. Fractions are division. All right, excuse me. Another way to write division is 24, and then we put a little bracket here around the 24, and we put the divisor out front, in front of the number being divided, the dividend. And then we get an answer of 3, and we write that quotient, the quotient's the answer to a division problem, up above on top. Okay? So I'm going to diagram this real quick for you too. And sometimes when you're watching these videos, it might be helpful to take notes in a spiral or something. So if you're one of those kinds of people that likes to take notes, you can draw this diagram with me. So this 24 is the dividend. Boy, it would be easier just for me to type it, wouldn't it? Dividend, okay? And then this number here, excuse me, is called the quotient, all right? This is the answer to a division problem, right? Oh, quotient, all right. And then we're dividing 24 by 8. So 8 is the divisor. 8 is our divisor. Let me write that down. Okay, divisor. All right, so that is the whole division problem in a nutshell. Now, if I were to go ahead and work this out, I could continue to show the steps for dividing, and I could write how much we would have divided up if we put 3 into 8 equal groups, because division is equal shares or equal groups, okay? So 24 minus 24 is 0. And now you can see this number at the bottom, this number here, is showing what is left to divide. And there's nothing. So that's why we have an answer of 3. Okay, if you know your times facts, your multiplication facts, you know 3 times 8 is 24. So that's one way to check to see if your answer is correct. You multiply 3 times 8, the divisor, and if you get the dividend up above there, if you get 24, you know that is correct. You did it right. You did a good job. All right. So yeah, your answer is correct. So now let's move on to dividing with the one-digit divisor with a larger number. Okay. So what if we have 4? And we're dividing up a number like 132. Okay, I don't know what the answer is going to be. We're just going to find out. The method I like to use is kind of a place-by-place or partial quotients method. Okay? And in this method, you need to be able to do a couple of things. You need to be able to use your multiplication facts, and you need to be able to understand place value pretty well. So I also like to use the story of money. Okay, so I think money as I'm dividing, and sometimes that helps me a little bit. Okay, in as far as like understanding the concept. So when we go through this, it'll make more sense. But the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take 4, and I'm going to look at the first digit in the number 132. Now here it is. It is 1. And I'm going to think of that as $100, like a $100 bill, right? If I have a $100 bill, just one of them, okay, here's my $100 bill. Yeah, that's 100, right? I wonder if I could make 100. Probably, yeah, that looks so much like a $100 bill. Okay, now, if I could give that, my question is, can I divide that among 4 people equally? No, I only have one of them, okay? If you look at the place value, there's only 1 in the hundreds place. So I cannot do that, okay? So I have to go to the next digit over. The next digit is a 3. That stands for 3 tens. So when I combine, excuse me, when I combine the hundreds, the $100 with the 3 tens, when I combine the hundreds with the tens, remember that's 10 tens right there, I get 13. So can I give 4 people 13 $10 bills? Okay, so again, I'm thinking money to help me visualize, I guess, how I'm dividing this. So if I have 13 tens, can I give that to 4 people? Yeah, you can. So how many times? This is where it is helpful to know your multiplication facts. Now you can use a times table to help you out. Sometimes that might help you while you're learning them. And then you can still do division. So what times 4 makes 13? Right, you're going to choose 3. Right? Now why not 4? 4 times 4 is close to 13. It's 16. Well, if I divide up too much at first here, then I cannot, when it's time to see what's left over, okay, because this stands for 30, but if I had 40 there and I wrote down 160, I cannot subtract 160 from 132. It's too much. So I'm going to stick with 3. So 3 up above is what I have. So 3 times 4 is 12, or 120. If I shift it one place because it's 10 times bigger than 3, it's 30. And now I can subtract, and I'm left with 12. Okay, great. Hey, this one worked out pretty well, right? Because I can already tell it's going to divide equally among all 4 people. So 4 divides 12. Well, we just did that 3 times. See, I can't divide the tens anymore by themselves, so I got to combine and make ones. So now I'm in the ones place next, the last place in this series of numbers, okay, or digits. So 4 divides 12 3 times. Okay, I was just underlining that so you could see it, see what I was talking about. And then I say, well, if I have 3 in 4 groups, that's the same as 3 times 4. And that means I've divided up 12, because 3 times 4 is 12, okay? So follow the steps here. There's a lot of steps in division, so it helps to practice. So if you're taking notes on this, that's a good first step, all right? So now we're going to go ahead and do another problem. So the answer, oh wait, before I finish, we've got to write down the answer. It's not 30 and 3. It's these combined, and out to the side, I'm going to write 33, okay? So my quotient, my answer to my problem is 33. There we go. Okay, so now I'm going to move on to the next problem. Okay, we'll do another one. This time, there may be a remainder. Well, there is going to be a remainder. Okay, 137 divided by, 8. All right, so there's my problem. This time I'll go back to blue for my work. All right, so now 8 doesn't divide $100 bill. among 8 people. So I'm going to go to the next digit, 13. 13, what does that stand for? That's right. That's the tens place. So it's 13 tens. Okay. 8 does divide that one time. So 1 goes above in the tens place. All right. I may not have made that clear in the last one. That's why we're doing multiple problems, so you understand all the steps. So 10 for each person, that's 10 times 8, would be 80. Okay. So write 80 down here. And now I can subtract. And when I subtract, I can regroup or ungroup the numbers so I can subtract. But this one I can do in my head. I know it's 57. All right. All right. So 8 divides now a different number. We've divided some of this number up, so we're left with 57. Just like in the last one, we were left with 12. So now 8 divides 57 how many times? 8 divides 57, well, let's see. Oh, I know. 7 times 8 is 56. So if I gave everybody $7, all 8 people, that would be $56 divided. And so I'm left with $1. Okay? So now in this case, I want to give each person an equal amount, and I'm not going to change it into quarters or nickels or dimes or whatever. I'm just going to keep it whole dollars. And so these 8 people get $17 if we're thinking of money again, right? Or if you want to just think of the number, it's 17. But wait, what do we do with the 1? Well, in problems like these, you're not quite ready to divide up numbers and to make decimals. What we're going to do is we're going to say remainder with the R. R stands for remainder, 1. So the answer is 17 remainder 1. Okay? All right, let's try another one. Okay, so for this problem, I'm going to write 1,463. So a 4-digit number, and we're going to divide this by 4. Let's do 4. We did that last time. Oh, let's choose a different number. Let's say 5. Okay, 5. 5 will work. 5 divides 1. 1,000. You can't break it up yet. No, it doesn't. So we need more than 1. So we're going to go to 14. In this case, 14 hundreds. Okay? So 14 hundreds. We can divide that among 5 people. Yeah. So we could try 2. So I'm going to write 200 here, because the 2 goes in the hundreds place, and it's 200. So 200 times 5 is, well, 2 times 5 is 10. And then it shifts 2 places for 200, because it's 100 times bigger than 2. Now I'm going to subtract what I divided. This is 200 for each 5 of the 5 people. And let's see what we're left with. 463. That was easy to subtract, right? All right, so now 5 doesn't divide 4, but it divides 46. And 5 divides 46 how many times? What times 5 is close to 463? I look at the first couple of digits and think, well, that's 460. So what is close to that? Well, if I multiply 9 times 5, that's 45. So 10 times bigger, or 90, would be 450. So that would work. So again, look at the digits to help you find a fact that will divide up this number more. And we found that 90 works here, 90 times 5, and we're left with 13 to divide up. So now I look at the 13, okay? And I say, can I divide up the 13? Sure can. So 5 divides 13, 2 times, 2 per person, and that is 10 total, right? Because 2 times 5 is 10. If I did 3 times 5, that's too much. So I'm left with 3 here. Can I divide 3 up now? Now here's one where you cannot continue dividing because the number is, and I didn't mention this in the last one, smaller than my divisor. So then I know I can't divide this up anymore as a whole number. So my answer here is, we're going to use that remainder thing again, 292 remainder 3. Now this is a great method. This is, they call it partial quotients. I like to say place by place because it's really focused on place value, because we have hundreds, then tens, then ones. This is a great method to start off on if you kind of know your times facts, or even if you don't, because it kind of keeps your answers organized in a nice, neat way. Okay? And it's easier to subtract because you're getting answers that make sense with how much you're putting in each group. Now, one last problem you try on your own, okay? And then I'll check in with you on it. So here's the problem. 3 dividing 3,201. Okay, let's divide this one up. Pause the video and then come back and check to see if you got the same answer as me. See if you can go through the steps. You're going to start by dividing the first digit if you can, the thousands place. Okay, go ahead and get started. Okay, so I'm back. So let's see how you did. So the first thing I do is divide that 3 up, because I can divide 3 by 3. And I can divide 1,000 in each group. And that gets rid of a lot right away. So that's 1,000 in each group. So that's 3,000 divided up already. Okay. And then I subtract, and let's see what I'm left with. Okay, I am left with 201. Now, does 3 divide 2? 200s? Nope. So I got to go to the tens, right? My 2's are not looking right. Oh my gosh. So 20. Can you divide 20 by 3? Yes. What times 3 is close to 20? Well, 7 times 3 is 21. So I'm going to have to go smaller. Now, we didn't divide up the hundreds, so be careful here. You are dividing to the tens place. See this 0? It's in the tens place. So I want to write down 6 instead of 7, 6 tens, or 60, because 6 times 3 is 18. But we need something that's 10 times bigger than that, because we have one more place value here. We have 201, right? And so, and I'm writing my number in the tens place, so I know it's 60, okay? All right, so 201. Let me rewrite my number here. I erased part of it. Okay, 60 times 3 is 180. And then I would subtract and see what I'm left with. And so I'm going to do 1 minus 0 is 1. 8 minus 0 is 8. Oh, no. Just testing you there. You cannot take 8 away from 0. So we have to ungroup this, make it a 1. And this is the way I'm subtracting anyway. Make this 10 more. Okay, so we can change one of the hundreds into 10 tens and subtract. And now I have 2 tens and 0 hundreds. Now, 3 divides 21 how many times? 3 divides 21 7 times, because 3 times 7 is 21. We just said that. Oh my gosh, this is working out perfectly. So 21 minus now, or subtract, and we're left with 0. Okay, so no more to divide, and we have an answer. So what's the answer? Yeah, 1,000. Don't forget the 0 in between the 1,000 and the 67. Okay, 1,067. All right, that's excellent. So if you got that, good on you. If not, it's okay. I will try to produce some more videos, but you can also rewatch the video. Oftentimes that helps. And look at your notes as you're doing the problems. And you can even make up your own problems and give them a try. by looking back on your notes or any of the problems I did using this method. The partial quotients or place by place is what I call it. All right, that's it for now. I hope you found this helpful for a one-digit divisor, dividing up a multi-digit number. All right, Mr. McGill signing off. Ciao.